Hey guys, and welcome back to another tutorial. And today I'm going to show you guys how I crocheted this really cute bikini top. So let's get started. For this tutorial, I'm going to be using 4 different colors of yarn just to show you guys the distinctions in each row, but you can use 1 color or even just 2. And I'll be using my handy dandy 5mm crochet hook. So to start this project, I need to create my magic loop. So I've got my yarn here, and I'm going to twist and create this X, reach in and pull up my long tail. So now I have my magic loop started. And from here, I'm gonna chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. And now after my chain 3, I'm gonna make 2 more double crochets into the center. So I'm gonna yarn over and insert my hook into the magic circle, pull up a loop, and now that I have 3 on my hook, I'm gonna yarn over and pull through 2. And with 2 on my hook, yarn over and pull through 2. So including this first chain 3, I now have 2 double crochet. And I need to create 1 more double crochet. So again, I'm gonna yarn over, insert my hook and pull up a loop. And with 3 on my hook, I'm going to yarn over and pull through 2. And with 2 on my hook, yarn over and pull through 2. So again, with that first chain 3, I technically have 3 double crochets here into my magic circle. From this point, I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. And going right back into our magic circle, I'm gonna add 3 more double crochets. So I'm yarning over for my first double, pull through 2, and pull through 2. That's my first. Going in for my second double crochet, pull through 2, and pull through 2. And now I need 1 more double crochet. After these 3 double crochet, I want to chain 3 again. There's 3. And going right back into my center again, I want to add 3 more double crochet. So I'm yarning over, pulling up a loop, pull through 2 and pull through 2. There's my first double crochet. Adding a second. And now a third. And for the last time after these 3 double crochet, I want to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. And at this point, I can pull on my short tail and tighten up that center. And going into the very top of my first chain 3, I'm going to slip stitch. So at this point, I can yarn over and pull through that gap and pull through for that slip stitch. And after my slip stitch, I'm going to pull through that loop and tie off that round with a knot. So just to show you guys what I've done so far, I've essentially made 3 double crochets in a row. And in order to make the points of my triangle, I've essentially chained 3 in between my clusters of my double crochets. To start my next row, I want to go into the very top of that original chain 3 and insert my hook. And from here, I'm going to add on my new color. So I'm going to wrap around my yarn on my hook and pull up that new color and tie off a knot. I'm going to go back into that same stitch. I'm going to pull up a loop, and from here I'm going to chain 3. And again, this chain 3 is going to count as my very first double crochet. So at this point, I want to add 1 double crochet into each stitch until I reach my corners. So since this chain 3 counts as a double crochet, I'm going to go into my next stitch here and add my second double crochet. So into the top of the second stitch in the cluster, I'm going to add another double crochet, which gives us 2. Now looking at that third stitch in that cluster, I'm going to add my third double crochet. And now that I've reached my corner, the stitch pattern for every single corner will be exactly the same. For each corner, I'm going to add 3 double crochet, chain 3, and add 3 more double crochet all into the same stitch. So to show you, after my third double crochet, I'm going to add 3 double crochet here into my gap. So into that open gap, here's my first double crochet, that's 1. Adding my second into that same gap, and going back again for my third. At this point, I'm going to chain 3, and once more coming right back here into the same gap, I'm going to add 3 more double crochet. So here's my very first, here's my second, and right back into the gap for my third. And now for this next row, I've created my new point. After my corner, I want to add 1 double crochet into the top of each stitch. So here's my very first stitch in that cluster. I'm adding my first double crochet. Looking here at my next stitch, through the top, adding my second, and looking here at my third, entering the very top of that stitch. And now that I've reached my corner here again, I'm going to add my 3 double crochet, chain 3, and 3 more double crochet. So once again, entering this gap, adding my first double crochet, back into the gap for my second, and back into the gap again for my third. After these first 3 double crochet, chain my 3, 2, and 3, and coming right back here into this gap for 3 more double crochet. So here's 1, back into the gap for my second, and back into the gap again for my third. And here is my second point of the triangle. And just to show you guys one more time, I'll be placing 1 double crochet into the top of each stitch. So looking here at my first stitch, placing 1 double crochet, looking at the next stitch, into the top, placing 1 double crochet, and looking here at the third, I'll be creating my very last double crochet. And here at my third corner, you guys guessed it, I'll be adding 3 double crochet, a chain 3, and 3 more double crochet. So here into the gap, making 1 double crochet, there's my second, and back into the gap for my third. At this point, I can chain my 3, and back into the gap one more time for 3 more double crochet. So there's 1, 2, and back again for my third double crochet. And now I've finished off the third corner. From here, in order to close the round, I'm going to slip stitch into the top of that first chain 3. So finding the very top of that chain 3, I'm going to slip stitch. And from here I can cut my yarn and pull through that loop and fasten off my second row. To start my third row, I'm going to insert my hook where we've left off at the top of that chain 3. So I'm inserting my hook here at the very top of that first chain 3. I'm going to switch colors again and add in my new yarn and pull up that new yarn and tie off a knot. I'm going to insert my hook back into that same loop, and using my new color now, I'm going to pull up a new loop here, and just like with the second row, I'm going to chain 3. And once again, this chain 3 is going to count as my first double crochet. So I'm going to insert 1 double crochet into the top of each stitch. So here at my next stitch, I'm going to insert at the top and make a double crochet. Moving on to my next stitch, making 1 double crochet, and so on. So here's my next stitch. I have 2 more to go into the top to make another double crochet, and finishing this row here. So I finished all the stitches on this flat edge, and now I'm going to add my 3 double crochet followed by a chain 3 and 3 more double crochet, all into the same gap. So to show you guys again, at my first corner, I'm going to insert into the gap and make 3 double crochet. No surprise here. And here's my second. And 1 more time into the same gap for my third. After those 3, I'm going to chain 3 again. Turn my work just a little bit so I can start working on this flat edge here. And create 3 more double crochet into the same gap. So there's my first. Here's my second. And finishing with a third. And once again, I've made a new corner here in the third row. Looking at this new flat edge here, I'm going to start at my first stitch in the row and add 1 double crochet into each stitch. So I'm adding 1 double crochet into the top of each double crochet from the row prior. So I'm just working down my row here, going into the top, making sure not to miss any stitches. And here at my very last stitch in this row, I've reached my new corner here again, and I'm going to create the same pattern as I did before. So 3 double crochet into that gap. Here's my second double crochet. And my third. And from here I can chain 3. So now I'm looking at this flat edge here and create 3 more double crochet into this open gap. Here's my third. And as you can see, I've made a new corner again with this third row. And now that I'm looking here at this flat row, Once again, I'm placing 1 double crochet into the top of each stitch. So here's my first stitch in the row. Working my way down the row. Just adding plain old double crochets into the top of each stitch. I've reached my very last corner again. I'm gonna add my 3 double crochet into the gap. That's 1, 2, and 3. I'm gonna chain 3. Turn my work a little bit so I can finish off this row here and add my last 3 double crochet into this gap. And to finish out the row, I'm going to create 1 double crochet into the top of these stitches. So here's that first stitch. I'm adding 1. Here at the next stitch, adding 1. And here again at this stitch, adding 1 double crochet. And I'm going to finish the row by slip stitching into the top of that chain 3. So I've already gone ahead and made a second matching cup for my bikini, and now it's time to make the straps and string up this top. So I'm gonna go ahead and insert a little diagram here to show you guys exactly what I'm gonna do next. I'm gonna attach my yarn at the corner of my cup and chain about 15 inches long. After my chain, I'm gonna turn my work and slip stitch all the way back to the corner of the cup. From there, I'm gonna slip stitch across the bottom of the cup, chain 3, and slip stitch across the other cup. At the corner of my cup, I'm going to chain another 15 inches long, turn my work and slip stitch back across that chain. From there, I'm going to slip stitch up the side of the cup, chain another 15 inches long, slip stitch back down that chain and down the side of the cup. From there, I'm going to slip stitch across those 3 chain spaces in between the 2 cups, slip stitch up the side of the next cup, chain another 15 inches, turn the work and slip stitch down that chain and down the remainder of the cup. So I'm hoping that made sense for you guys, and I'm gonna go ahead and do that now.
Whole gang go up when it's sundown. Let this song play while I dance with you. Cause one day there won't be no one around. And I wanna love while I can on you. No one really knows when it's all said and done. But when our time winds up, I bet it all on us.